And our keynote speaker, Ms. Deborah Ross, President of Gam-Tech, as well here today. And last but not least, we have Ms. Carol Collinge from SAIT Senior Development Officer, Alumni Development. Are you present here? No? Okay, thank you. Hopefully we'll get to see her a little later this evening. Now, before I bring on Deborah, I would like to read something about her background. She's a very special lady indeed, and we are very privileged to have her as our keynote speaker. Deborah Ross is the president and owner of Gam-Tech Inspections Limited, a leading non-destructive testing company located in Calgary, Alberta. Deborah founded the company in 2002. Firmly establishing her entrepreneurial credentials as a woman who successfully broke into an industry dominated by men. Born and raised in a small town in Fort St. John, BC, Deborah has always been highly competitive. And throughout her entire life, despite excelling as a student while at school, financial constraints prevented her from pursuing further education. However, Deborah left home at the early age of 14, determined to achieve success and convinced that her persistence would eventually pay off, and pay off. It definitely did. She followed her instincts and joined the aircraft maintenance engineering program right here at SAIT Polytech. Deborah's interest in metallurgy led her to learning the techniques of non-destructive testing. In the belief that this would make her skills more marketable in the industry. In addition to being a certified exposure device operator, Deborah is qualified in radiography, magnetic particle, level 2, ultrasonic level 1, and radiography level 3, the highest level attainable for certification here in Canada for materials inspectors, specializing in non-destructive testing methods. She has been working in that field in non-destructive testing for over 15 years now. In 2002, Deborah's compelling drive and competitiveness inspired her to establish Gam-Tech Inspections Limited in order to provide non-destructive testing services to the oil and construction industries. Since its inception, the company has provided unparalleled level of service, continually attracting new customers. Today, Gam-Tech has over 350 clients, and Deborah's hard working and dedication has transformed the company into a multi-million-dollar organization. Deborah often compares her life to a deserted island. Since the tender age of 14, she has overcome many life's challenges alone. With her determination and hard work, always ensuring that she lands on her feet. Inspired by the popular saying that a falling cat always lands on its feet, Deborah has incorporated a cat icon into the website as a symbol of her success. The cat not only represents her strength, but also her intention to always land on her feet, overcoming any life's potential obstacles. This self-made woman aims to achieve even bigger and better goals in the years to come. Deborah is actively involved with various community programs and has also regularly participated in welfare programs organized by various NGOs. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure now to call on Ms. Deborah Ross, President of Gam-Tech.
That takes at least 10 minutes of my speech. Thank you. First of all, let me just congratulate you guys for taking the time out and taking the courses that you have, because you have no idea the opportunities that you've actually just opened for yourself by doing so. As was previously mentioned, I started a company back in 2002 with the sole intention that I could see some opportunities being missed service to clients. I did it during a time where it was a little bit down. We were only working 10 hours a week. And it's frustrating. You can't pay the bills very well 10 hours a week, that's for sure. So with that intention, I went set out on a track to go out, get some financing from the banks, who of course were going to help me with no business background, and etc. So therein lies one of the biggest challenges that I met. No business background. At that time, obviously I was in the NDT service and I had a good credit history. So I ended up learning very quickly how to play a little bit of games with the banks. So I went around to all the big 5 banks trying to get loans, and I needed about $125,000. And let me tell you, the banks do not look at you favorably when you have only 6 years in the industry you're trying to get in, and you don't have the right proposals to give to them. And so I basically got turned down by everyone. No believability, no business background, even though I had a clean credit history and I had a fair bit of evidence of what I felt was going to happen. There was a lot of, I guess, my projections, not theirs. So what I ended up doing is I put together 5 credit cards that I had already in possession of, all at 0 balance. Phoned them all up, gave them various excuses why they should up my limit, whatever that might be at the time, and they all did so very willingly. And within about a week's time frame, I put $125,000 on my credit cards, bought 1 X-ray truck, fully loaded, UT, the RT, everything. And at the end of that week, I called all these credit card companies back and I said, you know what? You don't drop those interest rates to something reasonable, I'm going to default next week, your choice. So what were they going to do? So I actually got all but one to give me between 0.9 and 2.9% interest, actually 3.9% interest, until the rates were paid off. It took me about 2 years, but I'd like to see anybody today get a loan for that kind of money. I mean, there was just nothing there out there. So that's how it all started. A couple, 3 months after I got going and all the procedures and all that were in place, pretty much broke, because it's one thing that you have the skill level, but you have to, the clients have to know you know all the background to that as well. There's procedures manuals, and there's the CNSC component of that as well. So if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to hold up their whole production, full vessels, all the piping. And so that's a big chance for a client to take. So getting around December there, a friend of mine actually happens to be Dave's wife. we went to bingo. This is something every business person needs to know. We went to bingo this night, and what on the satellite was something like $12,000. If it wasn't for that $12,000, I never would have made it. So I don't know if you want to put that in your program, but it worked for me. So after that, I actually after that, basically, I got one really good client that took a chance on us, and had our first ASME audit, which is the yearly audits that regulate ABSA, which is almost a daily thing if you're doing any kind of fabrication work. We went through there, we had no problems, and then it just basically spread. We were capable, we had the right procedures in place, and all word of mouth. So for the past 10 years, I have been operating word of mouth with no marketing, and more than not turning the work away because we're just that busy. It's not fair to your current clients to take on more and give everybody mediocre service. And so that's kind of what we positioned our company on. We have over 350 clients that they're come and go clients, and we have a certain core group that we service to all the time. And we're now expanding over the next 18 months. We position ourselves pretty good. We think we're going to double with our new pipeline integrity and into the state side. So that's good for us because we've sort of been stagnant for the last, say, 5 years. We did a level and had a restructure during the recession, that kind of thing, and focusing on what was important. So that's where we come from. Now, for the students coming into the industry, it really depends on what your goals are, which direction you want to go. A lot of guys are on the RT side, a lot of guys are on the utility side, and those are your 2 main disciplines right there. Both are excellent, both have totally different career paths you can take. So those guys and gals that want to get into high tech and that kind of thing, I would certainly recommend going to a larger company like Akron, where Mike works, because it opens up a variety of avenues overseas, and there's so many people that work there that there's opportunities all over. Now, for somebody who's looking for the RT, and it doesn't, you can go overseas or not. If you're looking to learn the industry, I suggest you go with a smaller company, someone that does have the fabrication involved, because what I've seen over and over And they go on a pipeline, and that's all they know how to shoot, a 3-inch, a 3-inch, a 3-inch. They don't know anything else. So they get into the fabrication shop, completely lost. They don't know anything. As well, it depends what the core motivations really are. If you're looking for the big bucks and you're young, you don't have a family, anything like that, go up to Fort McMurray. There's lots of money. Mind you, you're going to spend a lot of money too if you don't be careful. If you're a family people, then stick around with the Calgary companies. There's some good ones here, Iris, ourselves, Western Inspections, a good training ground for RT and many other things actually. So again, what we're looking for in our company is kind of talk. We're looking for grade A players, and not people that want to come in and just get their paycheck. We're looking for a team environment, and as soon as we structured our company towards that, it's going to make all the difference. So I think that's pretty much all I had to say. Does anybody have any industry-specific questions that I'm obviously missing out here? Any of the students? No questions? Well, I want to know, is Brandy in the room? Brandy, I want to bring this up to you as far as integrity, and it's a small industry. I know there's thousands of people in it, but I had a phone call from a competitor very recently that brought up your name and suggested that if we were going to hire somebody, that you would be a perfect candidate and a perfect fit. So that speaks volumes about who you are and that you've made a very good impression on somebody. So congratulations on that. That's something that I respect. So that's what you're looking to do. You don't want to be lost in the mix. You want to be highly recommended and do everything with integrity. It's not just about collecting that paycheck. It's about the representative of yourself as well as the company you're working for. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Very inspiring. Bingo. Okay, looking forward to that. If you can squeeze that in. Tracy. So, it has been indicated